Good morning. Hello. Uh Happy Thursday today. Can't remember, is it Johan saved or Johan saved? Good morning. How are you doing today? Is there a reason why I chose C or M instead of SQLX? Not really. Um so when I first learned Axum, I went with C or M, and so the first course has that. So I decided just to be consistent and stay with that one. It's not like that's a pretty weak reason, but it's the reason why I chose. I'm hearing a lot of really good things about SQLX recently, so I think what there'll be is like a follow up where I'll do like a SQLX module essentially that could be plugged into instead of the CRM part. But yeah, not really like a reason for it. What's gonna be the price for it? I haven't fully decided. I've talked to my mentor. There's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be three different like ways you can get it. So obviously one way, you watch the live streams as I'm creating this. You can go and look at the repos, and that's the free version, right? Like free tier is you watch it here. Okay, the second time was Johan, right? Johan saved. Silby, you wanna hang out? Hi. Or are you just gonna hang out in the doorway? Um, okay, Johan saved. Awesome. So pricing wise, my mentor helped me out a little bit. So there's gonna be multiple tiers. So obviously, free tier is that you show up here on live stream and you see me build it, right? And you can go on to the repos and just look at some of the stuff. But obviously, that's not like it's not everything. That's no different than like any other type of courses out there. So you don't really get more than what you'd get anywhere else. Then sort of like mid tier would be purchasing the modules as they sort of are. So you this would be in the LMS where you sign up there, you purchase through that. I have no idea what the pricing is going to be this one. It's going to be like the cheaper one, so it could be as cheap as like a few dollars, it could be 10, 20, it could be 30, 40. I don't know. I can't imagine this would be like ever get more than $100, but I don't know. I need more sort of like competitive analysis. I noticed that uh, a lot of other courses out there are charging like $70 to $80 for online courses. And so it depends upon if I chop something up where, for example, you're only purchasing this, like, let's say CRM, and that's it, like nothing else, then that might that would probably be significantly cheaper. So like $20 essentially. To like this one might be $20 because it's significantly more, but as anybody who knows businesses, the price gets set by the market, not by what I think it's worth. So there'll probably be a lot of experimentation with that. And let's see. The last one will be the most expensive tier, which would be the live courses. So the idea would be something like, okay, we're going to do a course on Axum, or eventually want to have it like full stack web development, or maybe eventually like how to program Rust. You have no knowledge, and like let's learn it. And this is going to be more like the live code school style, where you show up at a specific time and there's going to be private lessons that are being done, probably on Discord, and those won't make their way into YouTube or on Twitch. Those will be just for you and anybody else who is signed up in that cohort. So it is live, as in you have to like then show up at a certain time, but you basically go through the course at the same time as a group of other people. You could all help each other out as you're going through it, and I do customized lessons based upon where you are. So because you're still going through the same content as you could for those cheaper versions, my lessons change from here's just the content to here's the specific spot you're struggling with the content, if that makes sense. And if I need to do quick, like, last minute last second, oh, you need like an extra article for this, I could write that up and like throw that in there and give that to you. And that would also include one-on-ones that we'd have throughout it. So basically that's my what did my mentor called it in business terminology. This is called the beachfront, using war terminology, which is, I always was a little bit feels a little bit odd using that in business terminology, but apparently it's super popular to use. So beachhead, the beachhead. That's where I attack the market. That's where the most money, the most profit, but the most value would be, as far as as far as I know. So therefore, that's my primary focus and what I'm working on right now. So all these assessments and everything else, they're mostly going to be valuable for people who take the live course until I set up some systems for automation, in which case they become available for the not live version. You want to use Axum, but there's no good tutorial that has middleware, auth, JSON Web Token. You're really looking forward to this. Ah, thank you. Anshul, hello. Also the same with the business terminology. I know. I remember years ago when it was recommended for. It was like, anybody who's into business, you need to read the oh, what was it? It's the oh, I forgot his name. The Art of War. You need to work on, you need to read The Art of War and understand that in order to be a good business person. And I read through it, and I can't. Sun Tzu. Okay, Sun Tzu. That sounds familiar. I was really afraid I was gonna like say something really wrong, and so I was like, is it Sun Tzu or is it something else? There's a lot of things that I think are just super common sense, but then again, for any of us who have ever like done studies on common sense or like read through the studies in common sense isn't that common. So I can see some of the lessons, like never fight a battle unless you know you're going to win already. But then again, I don't think most people do that. I think most people just go in and fight the battle anyways. I think a lot of the lessons really apply to more like cultural change, which is some of the stuff that I specialize in business, as opposed to like sales, which I do not specialize in. I'm not very good. And then okay. If we go back, because I realized I didn't really give like a price for the live course thing, that would obviously be the most expensive one. I'm not necessarily targeting businesses with that type of thing, but I am targeting people who have jobs right now. So this would not be something that you like be in college or in a school, not have a job and go for. And I'm thinking more of like, this is okay. You've been working for a year or two. You want to like level up your skills. You want to get the next thing. Eventually, like the market research is showing that most other courses similar to this are between $400 and $600 per course, which can last anywhere between 2 weeks and like, I don't know, 4 months or 2 months or something like that. And it sort of changes. Never interrupt an enemy while they're making a mistake. The problem is that if you're in a sales thing and the enemy, the person who's buying from you, is making a mistake, you definitely want to correct them. That's why I don't really understand the war thing. It doesn't make any sense when you're like, don't treat your customers as your opponents that you're trying to kill. It's not what you want to do. Anyways, I don't know. They're going back and forth between like, hey, we're talking about war and killing our customers, and also I'm giving my business sort of like what the plan is. I love the Twitch sort of method of communication where it's like literally two talks at the same exact time. It never gets any less strange. So let's see. Market research is showing around $400 to $600 for competitors. There's actually quite a few who are in this space who are doing exactly that thing already. So this is not something that's brand new that I'm just inventing. I am doing something that's already doing that. And so what I'm planning on doing is, for this first one they're going through, I'm going to say like, and this is my mentor who told me this, is set the price as what the end price will be. So let's imagine that I set it as the most expensive is my competitors, which would be, let's say, $600. And then I say, hey, this is like an alpha version. This is like pre-alpha. We are like, there's a lot of features that are missing. So I am slashing the prices and we're going down to like, I don't know, $100 or something like that. I haven't fully decided. And then I do like the next course, there's even more features in it. There's like more stuff. It's like, okay, this is going to be, a little bit more expensive, a little bit less of a discount until eventually I'm up to full price. So that's what I would go for. Stacking, hello, how you doing? What's PPP pricing? It's just so I don't mistake that for something else. What's PPP pricing? Will this course be using Postgres? Yes, I'm using Postgres. The other purpose of the live course type thing is that I can help make sure that everybody gets Postgres and everything else set up on their system. So that's one thing that I've noticed is like when people sent me messages saying like, hey, I can't get like the Docker stuff working on my computer because I'm working with like, this like, specific version of Windows, or I'm working with like this specific version of Linux and the instructions didn't have anything for that. I don't know how to do that. And so therefore, work with that. Purchasing power parity. That's the thing where you live in a country that has a different, use a different currency than like USD, which is what I'm using. And therefore, if I set, let's say I use $100 as like the purchase amount, but you have like 80% of that, you'd be spending 20% more, right? So PPP would then be me saying, okay, I'll let you have a discount to purchase it at $80 USD worth of your currency. I believe that's how that works, right? I'm gonna be using Stripe. Yeah, well, and what I also want to get into is I want to hopefully get to the point where the courses, if I get enough people who have taken it and like it actually helps out, and I can get some what is it called? Reviews on this, maybe like official reviews. I could then potentially help use that to suggest to companies to pay for it with an education budget. I don't know about other countries, but in the US, plenty of companies give around $1,000 a year for around $1,000 a year for their employees to continue their education and keep up on latest technologies. So this would be something where like, hey, spend that on me. So if I could prove that, hey, you're going to get your money's worth out of it, that the companies might be more willing to like, hey, I'll help out as long as you pass it. I might have to give like some kind of certificate or something else to prove that you completed it. But hey, like those are possibilities. Will I have offers for students? Probably not for the live course, at least definitely not right away. I need to build way more features to help out with students. For the offline ones, yeah, I could see something like doing something for students. Like we're also on Twitch. Like there's plenty. I need to talk with a lawyer probably about like giving away the course, especially if I do it like on Twitch through some kind of giveaways, to make sure I don't accidentally do a lottery, because there's a lot of laws about that, and I make sure I don't fall into that trap. Scott, hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, that's true. They don't do that in outside of tech, do they? It's pretty much everywhere else. So I think it's gonna depend on how things are going, right? If things are going really well, like the more people that are like purchasing these, and like, you know, the more money I can like throw back into it. So some of that money will go to like me actually building the things. It's like, okay, I'm gonna spend more on AWS and like do some really cool like automated function type stuff. But if there's enough money for that, then I can also put that into, okay, heavy discounts for you specifically, or something else. Actually, okay, so you get budgeted to buy books, but then a lot of people don't get that. And it makes sense that you don't get that outside of tech industry too. Although when it says makes sense, I understand that a lot of people don't think that you need to like keep up on stuff, but that doesn't mean it's true. Eventually, once I have everything fully powered and up and running, and then I plan on slowly like adding into the courses, like the content of the courses, until I have the ability to do a course on introduction to programming. It's like learn how to program from scratch. I will probably partner with some other people that I know who also have experience doing that, because that is a big thing all on its own. That would be targeted for people who have work in, like, who are students, and so that's something that we would consider at that point in time. But that's so far away. That is I have that's like third horizon. There's also horizons in business terminology. I am currently working on first horizon right now, which is the first horizon is the thing that makes you money. Any amount, like the most money, is first horizon. Second horizon is like, okay, the thing that you think can make you most money. And then third horizon and onwards is like, okay, just wild experiments to see, hey, will that potentially work? And then horizons change. Like eventually, like third horizon might replace first horizon, and first horizon will become a second horizon. It's, you know, fun things like that. You notice that the course has Auth0. Do you plan on implementing a custom auth route? Yes, eventually. What I would love to do is start doing some partnerships. Partner with like maybe a security company, maybe somebody who works at a security company who wants to like make a course, have them make a course on Auth0, and I'll sell it and then give them that basically they'll make the money with it. And I'll just make a small cut. That's what I would love to do. So that way it's not me who's making like auth stuff, because I'm not super great with auth. I basically just follow documentation from companies like Auth0, and just hope that they're correct. Event Horizon. Event Horizon isn't that's like a it's like a black hole, like the surface of a black hole. I am not setting up my company to be the surface of a black hole, because that will probably just collapse in on itself. No, it's I don't have any of the books here, but there's, and I can't remember who came up with it, but there's multiple. It's not event horizons. Um it's just first, second, and third horizons. Can we aim for the star horizon? Yeah, we're gonna, well, there's so many metaphors with business, and they just all get mixed up together. So then we have our North Star. Um, we have so there's a North Star. So sure. I also want to do an entire course that only uses, a business course, like a how to be a manager and or leader as a technical person. So like being you're a programmer, you or a sysadmin or something like that. You're solidly in tech, and then you've been promoted or you're thinking about promotion into management and leadership. I'm thinking about doing an entire course on that because I think there's really not very many good resources for people who come from tech backgrounds into that area. And then what ends up happening is that they either just keep on doing what they're doing, which is not a good idea, or you follow really shitty guides for leadership and management, and that's also not very good. And so I'd say that there's a need for it. Now, whether or not anybody's willing to buy it is different than people need that. They just don't necessarily know that they need that. That would be like, let's say like if the first through third horizon are all about making products that actually sell and make money for a company, this would be like the underwater horizon, in which I think is important, but I don't know if anybody would be willing to buy it. But I kind of want to just make it and throw it at people and say, here, learn how to be a better manager. Maybe I could sell it to everybody who's not a manager, and then they could passively aggressively throw it at their managers. It's like, hey boss, you're really shitty at your job. The Titan horizon. So my Titan horizon, hey boss, you're super interesting at your job. It's definitely a thing. So we all decided to pitch together. We bought you this course. We think you're gonna love it. Also, we're all quitting if you don't take it. That I think that would work, right? Oh, Angel, you asked, is my day job in Rust too? It is not. So my day job, I'm a manager and a leader at a small startup company. I am on the web services side, so like I'm in charge of all web services, and so I use the people that I've hired. We only know JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I've taught them a lot of AWS, TypeScript, things like that. So that's where we spend most of our time, is automating things, working with cloud. So for example, like I'm jumping in to help out with the team. I'm working on a piece of code that sends a certificate out when you complete a course. That's on the business side. So those are fun. It's interesting, it's fun, but it's not Rust. And like because I've talked to the team, they would be up for learning Rust, but they're like, the problem is it takes so long to learn Rust that if you're doing that, you're not providing value, and it's really hard as a startup to have anybody really not providing value for any amount of time, really. Like if I took like 2 weeks to teach them the basics of Rust, is that going to be enough for them to like start building everything with Axum or Actix web or something else? I don't know. So that's a long way to say no. My day job is not Rust. All right, let's get into it. So we have, I left this nice to do here, which crashes our tests, but that's fine. So we're attempting to get the author by ID. Last time we got it so we can find related, which gives us a vector. We're only getting, oh right, because we have to get all, like we can't get one, which I thought was interesting. Rest question, if you don't mind. Absolutely. Any kind of question. The worst case is I'll say I don't want to answer that here, or I can't answer it. So any question is fine. If you don't mind, what crate would you recommend for detecting key presses without enter? Key presses without enter. Just to listen to key presses in general. So like is this for a keylogger? Yeah, we need a lot more context. Basically, my first thought immediately goes to, is this a keylogger, which is more of a hacking tool. Okay, for a simple game. Okay. Again, next thing, Stacking's question I think is really good for this. Is this in a web, or is this like a just like sitting here? And then also for the game, are you using an engine? I'm guessing not, right? Because the engines would give you the ability to listen to key presses. Do you want to use an engine? TUI game in the terminal. So there's a couple different ones that you can use. I have used one. I made a Twitch Plays app just to sort of play around with it, which I'm using Inigo. Oh no, this won't work. Okay, so never mind. This does the opposite of what you want. This actually controls the mouse and keyboard for you. You want to detect the mouse and keyboard. Okay. I don't know. Who I would ask would be Togglebit. Togglebit has been creating a TUI framework, essentially. And so detecting key presses is really important for that. So Togglebit's been feeling under the weather, which is why he's not streamed this week very much. But he has a Discord that he's extremely active in. So I would recommend going to his channel. He likes cross term. Okay, then I would just use that. Use whatever he's using. He's done a lot of research into it. He's done a lot of stuff. I would trust him for that. If you're not sure if it's the correct choice and you think that you might change it later, then you can create a wrapper around it. So create basically your own thing that then calls cross-term, and then you call into your thing, and it sends messages through a channel back to you. And then that way, if you need to change it later, you just change the library that's within the wrapper, and then whoever's calling that wrapper doesn't have to change at all. It's going to be fine. Johan, ETA for the Axum course. No ETA right now. What we could do is I'm taking it relatively slow, mostly because I'm trying to prevent myself from burning out. My day job is fairly stressful right now. It's really just day job is fairly stressful right now. And that is taking up almost all of my time in the day. So I'm not really working as outside of what you see in the stream. On Sundays, I give myself a little bit of time to work on some Rust stuff. But what I'm doing right at that point is working on a project in Rust and Axum and Auth0 to help me sort of see this. So what you can basically see is I'm working through these. Once I get all of the purple ones set up with the assessments, then I get to start writing the actual lessons themselves. So I don't have a date. I'm trying to do dateless with this. But I would really love to be able to get people to run through it definitely before the end of the year. So that's my plan, is before the end of the year, we'll have people be able to run through this. And I would love it before December. Like, end of the year, I'm hoping is like a few months before the end of the year, but I'm not gonna hold myself accountable to that. I guess just pay attention to the stream and keep up on it, and I'll keep you all up on it as well. Okay. Kukma, hello. How are you doing today? Does Axum support traits with lifetimes as state value? Yesterday you tried to create a function to return Axum router, but you cannot compile it. Interesting. So, take a look at what I'm doing in the router. So, my method of setting up is that I am returning a router and I'm using state. For example, okay, so you have state arcdyne, my custom trade, +10 sync, router new route with state. Interesting. Oh, because your custom trait needs a lifetime. Is there any way for you to not need a custom lifetime? That's my guess, is like, is there a way for you to not have a lifetime? Okay, you don't need it. I'm right there with Johan. You're just curious. I don't know. Here, I don't even know where I would put a lifetime in this one. I don't think I can. I would need to set up app config to take a lifetime. It would probably be too much work for me to set that up just to play with it right now. So I'm too lazy. I go with somebody who's very smart once said in Rust, this was even before Lifetime Elysian, which makes it even better, which was try to avoid you doing custom lifetime stuff as much as possible, especially at the beginning of your Rust journey. Once we get to the point where we know what the repercussions of our decision are, we can start changing that. But I don't recommend it. Joanne, how long are you gonna be hanging around? If you're gonna hang around for a while, I'll wait until Zilby comes back. Hopefully, and then if not, maybe you can remind me in like, I don't know, half an hour or so, and I can go grab him and bring him down and pet him. So that's my suggestion. Is that avoid lifetimes pretty much. Scott, you're not that far in your Rust journey. Togglebit told you if you make a game, you'll play on stream. It'd be your first formal program in over 3 decades, and your first in Rust. You've been studying Rust for about 6 months, and this exercise taught me a lot. However, I really missed the command in key from basic. Oh, yeah. So most languages don't have that type of thing just sort of built into them. You have to use some kind of library or something else. So totally makes sense. And I played a game online that somebody made in Rust. So if you make that, I'll be happy to play it too. Here's my suggestion for like learning Rust, especially if you're making a project. And it's to do something called what is it called? It's supple development. Supple development is the idea is like it's almost like a state of mind. It's as soon as you discover a better way of doing something, you refactor at that point in time. Or I guess like technically it would be a rewrite. You like rewrite it at that point in time. So let's say you're writing this game and you're like, oh my gosh, it'd be so much better if I like use this different library for, you know, the input keys or something else like that. It's like, okay, this is a learning project, right? Perfect time to just scrap it all and rewrite it from scratch. And each time you do that, I call this the build and burn method. Each time you do that, you get better and better and better, and your learning increases exponentially. It's really awesome. It requires that we change our mentality. The goal isn't to complete the project. The goal is to learn, right? And therefore later on be able to complete a project. It's a subtle mind shift, subtle difference in mentality. All right, did I miss anything? I don't think I did. All right. Any more questions, comments, thoughts? Throw them in chat. Otherwise, we'll keep on keeping on. Okay, so we have get author by ID. We are using the relationships that we set up yesterday to be able to find with related. That gives us back this vector, which we're finding by primary key ID. So we know that there's only one of them. So we're returning none. Is there a better pattern to this if there's a result? I can't use question mark. Because it's inside of a result, which would be nice. Let's see, and then that gives us, okay, so then I get the first item and I break it out into the author's this first model, and then I have Veka models, which are the things that are related to it, which in that case are books. Oh, and I suppose if there's more of them, then we can do like find with related, find with related, find with related, find with related. If this was many things that are related to each other. That would be interesting. And then I would suppose this would just become a tuple of like continuing on with like another vec, another vec, another. Oh no, it would be like model vec, model vec, model vec. Would that make sense? No, it would probably have to be just more vecs inside of this. I don't know. Something we'll have to play around with when we get to that. Okay, so I have that. I want to return an author, which means I want to update the author to have the books that they know. Okay, so I want to go to types. So we have book, we have author. So I want author to now have books, and that's going to be a vector of book. So from model, so if I do that, then your books will have to be just an empty vector. To begin with, oh, we need partial, equal, and debug on, and probably serialize on books. Okay, so now I'm missing books when I'm creating the author and author queries. Oh, this is insert author. When I'm returning this out. So if I'm inserting author, I probably don't have any books set for it yet. So this will be books as a vector. But here, I want to take these books and then convert them in. So let's do let books equals books dot iter, because I don't own the books vector yet. We'll map. So this is a DB book. I want to return a book like that. All right, so name. All right, DB book. Actually, you know what? If I do the into thing, hold on, book. Oh, I already have that here. Never mind. We're gonna do into like that. That gives me a map. I then want to collect this into a vector of book. The trait bound types books, convert from, and these books model is not satisfied. Oh, because it's a reference to a model. Ooh, okay. So this is like from a full model. If I just do that, oh, right. I need that. Okay. So now I have a vector of books here, so I can add that onto the oh, I convert the author. So I'm gonna do that mute author equals author from author. That gives me the author. Then I do author dot books equals books. I'm done here. Now I can return an okay, some author. What? Why am I semicolon that? What are you upset about? From author. Okay, so required. The trait bound convert from author's model. Oh, this one. Okay, so I can do that. Wait, I thought author let me do that. Hold on. From model for author. Yeah, that totally works, right? Wait, is this the wrong? No, this is the right. This is the right author. Author from this author here. Oh, it's already a reference. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. I wonder if I can dereference you. No, I can't move it out. So let's instead do the same thing. Aren't you a reference now? Yeah, okay. So the trait bound types author, convert from entities model. Oh, that's not a reference. Okay. The types author, convert from. No, now it's the double reference. Wait a second. Did I just miss that? Wait, what? Oh, now it needs to clone you. Did I forget to save all these things? That would have been hilarious. Okay. You're happy? So if I rerun my test again, those are passing. So we're in test author, specifically get one author with their books. Okay, so I should get the response test code. Oh, I should now be able to get the author from this. So if I get you, so I want author equals. I'm going to get the JSON, which is then an author from that. And I know what this is going to be, don't I? So I can create a new one and then compare them together. No code actions? Oh. Okay, so ID. Oh, this is gonna be ID 2. Name. We need to go find that out. I love how my tests have been adding all of these in. That's fun. But okay, author ID 2. For one book, I'm gonna get free book. And then books. It's gonna be Avec book. Ooh, that one allows me to do that. Okay. The book name. Free book. Which is, oh, I got that wrong. The one book is the name of the author. Free book is the name of the book. Price is 0 because it's free. In stock, I think is yes. Yes. Oh, I locked it. And in stock is true. Okay. So I get you, and then I want to do an assert equal. The author is equal to expected author. Ooh, failed. Okay. What happened? Error decoding response body while parsing a value at line 1 of column 0. Okay, so what we got from the JSON isn't what we're supposed to send back. So we didn't, I don't know what we got back, but we didn't get back what we were supposed to get back. So let's go to the route. I bet I forgot to actually do anything. Yeah, here you go. Got author. I don't even see the got author. Oh, there it is. Got author, and here's that. So some option with the author, books, book. Okay, so that all looks correct. So I need to remove you, and we need to return this. It's an option because there's a pot. Because what if we don't get that? Oh, this one should be a sum. Let's see. I'm not returning anything else like this. Okay, so I want to return a result. The error is going to be a status code right now. And if I'm successful, I want to turn JSON with an author. Oh, but probably, can I do JSON sum of an author? Probably not. It probably needs to be like sum here. So here's a just API question. It's not really a coding question. For your APIs, when you make them, if everything is successful but it doesn't find it in the database, what do you return? There's this is one of those contentious things that cause people to get irrationally upset online and yell at each other. I'm curious about your thoughts before I give you my thoughts. Asuna, hello. Empty array if lists are requested and nothing if single entity is requested. What are even the other options? Is it nothing with a 200? So 200 okay, nothing in the body. Other options would be 404. So you could just do a 404 error. Okay, 200 okay, you get nothing. I've gotten to heated arguments with some people about this. Coworkers, in fact. That was always fun. My thought is to return a 404. And it's like 404s are usually for like if the URL doesn't work, but like my reading of that, how it's always been, the URL combined with that ID doesn't exist, and so therefore it's a 404. But I can totally understand that maybe we want something else. Is there, every once in a while I do this, let's go look at HTTP response codes. So 404, the server cannot find the requested resource. In the browser, this means the URL is not recognized. In an API, this can also mean that the endpoint is valid, but the resource itself does not exist. Servers may also send this response instead of 403 forbidden to hide the existence of a resource from an unauthorized client. This response code is probably the most well-known due to its frequency occurrence on the web. So I think I think that it comes down to, well, I mean, no matter what, just be consistent, right? We can always just respond with 451 for everything. Just say like, oh yeah, we totally have it. We totally have it, but it's legally you're not allowed to have it. And just like shifty eyes. Ooh, wait. Yeah. 204. No content. There is no content to send for this request, but the headers may be useful. The user agent may update its cache headers for this resource with the new ones. Interesting. Let's see what else. Yeah, nothing. So like maybe 204? Maybe? It will cache that. Okay, so it tells it to cache it, so it won't necessarily try again. At least for however long the cache is going to be. That being said, let's see if I go back to, let's look at their extended. Oh, the extended page has a lot less. Yeah. Well, there's another option here. Another option is to create a generic response JSON. So I don't have like a pen for this, so this is gonna be fun. I can do pen, right? Can I do pen? Yeah, do pen. So, oh wait, no. Whoa, no. Never mind. I can't do pen? There's like lines. Okay, never mind. There's I thought this was for drawing, but it's not at all. So imagine if I return something like we use like JSON API style for this. This is all center lines. So this is gonna look horrible. So sorry about that. So we use status, and this is an integer. So for example, for this thing that's not found, this might be 404 in here, because that's like common of what we know. And then we have data, and then that will be essentially an option with JSON generic in there. And then, okay, so status JSON, status data. Just for this one, that might be good enough. And then I could return a 200 with this as the object. And so then you'd have to inspect inside of it to see, okay, it succeeded, but did I actually find anything? You hate those we embed a response in the default response structure approaches ever since you worked on an API that returned 200K with content error. Oh yeah, I've worked with that. This breaks all client libraries that automatically detect error states based on header and then call error handling. Yeah, that's true. GraphQL is a big violator of that. They always return 200, even if there was an error processing the request. It's going to be 200, and then there's an error object inside, which is fun. I understand why they do it. It just still sucks. Okay, so now what I would do is I would still return a 500 if it failed, right? But then we could have something like this. We'd have something like this then. And then the status code above would be 200 or so 2xx, 4xx, or 5xx would be the response codes. So it would still have HTTP status codes of the appropriate thing, but then this is always what is passed in with it. So that way you get the best of both scenarios. You get data passed in telling you what's going on, and you get the HTTP status code that actually tells you what's going on. So best of both. And I suppose doing this is good to teach. It's another reason for a generic. Okay, so anything that impls serialize essentially goes into here. So if I were to create that, where do I want to put this? Let's see, where am I? I'm in source. Yeah, we'll do as we're... Okay, I'll just put this into mod right now. Okay, so this will be a response object. I don't know why, like, the last several months, serialized and deserialized don't come in automatically, which kind of sucks. Let's see, serialize, deserialize. Let's throw in debug. I don't think I need partial equal for this. We're gonna have pub status, which is gonna be a status. I can still do a status code for that, and that could be like another status code. I'd be fine with that. We're gonna have data, which is gonna be an option with JSON. So that's gonna be a generic. So we have JSON that I want to implement serialize. And we'll have pub error, which is going to be an option that implements that then has a string in it. Oh, status code can't be deserialized. Well, fine, be that way. We'll make this a U16. Okay, so if we do that, I could probably create some builders for this. So in this specific case, we want something to be okay, right? Let's go back and take a look. So, right, and this is going to take in that JSON serialize and JSON there like that. Okay, so let's. Then my result will now be JSON of response object, and then inside of that would be the author. Okay, so I know you're upset because I'm not doing the thing. Okay, so I get the option author, which this might actually work out now because I have an option, which I think is good, right? Oh, but if it's not there, I need to respond with the status code error. Oh, and then this status code, instead of just doing that, this becomes a response object. You're not going to be happy with that, are you? What type would it be? Because I'm not using the type for this. I mean, I can't set none, I don't think. Yeah, none is a variant. I can't do I don't think I can do like an option as a type. That'd be hilarious, but option itself needs a type too. Ooh. Can I do like a new operation? Or like, oh, ooh, maybe I could do that? Okay. So there's nothing in there. Okay, so let author equals to that. So then I want, I guess we get the author out. Otherwise, we are going to return an error with a response object status. Now this one's going to be, we're going to do 404. Wait a second. No. This is successful. Hold on. What am I thinking about? This wouldn't be an error. This would be an okay. Status 404. Data would be none. Error would be not found. I guess like there's no error, right? So this would also be none. What are you upset about? Mismatch types. The type constructed contains response object underscore due to the type of the argument passed. So this, but I can't do, I don't think, underscore because the placeholder is not allowed. That makes it pretty tough. And it's a none, so like there's nothing in there, but it couldn't be anything. Oh, that sucks. I don't want to have to do something. Can I serialize none? I don't know if I want to go down this route. This might be too confusing. So maybe we'll just go back to, we'll just do status code for right now. I don't have to do a response. So we could just return an okay and an empty array, or 404 depending upon the docs, and either way would be fine, but I have to like test for that. I guess what this would mean is I have response object and I probably have an error response object. That's probably what it is. That's how this works. So we have a response object. This has data option with JSON in it. You don't take in a type. Data will be an option. I don't care what you are. It's probably going to yell at me for that. Yeah, you need to be something. Oh, but I could at this point make you that, and I could make you that. This feels, I don't like it. I don't like it, but I understand why I need to do it. I just don't like it. Then I would probably want a builder to choose which one of these is going out. Yeah, because then I could have like a function that create response object function create error response, and just takes in data and then goes from there. Okay, so if I'm not thrilled with this. That doesn't need its type on it now. So if I return, okay, so you don't exist. So if you don't exist, then the status is 404, the data is none, and the error is none. Why are you upset at that? The type constructed contains types response object underscore due to the type of the argument passed. Mismatch types expected struct Axum JSON types response types author found response object. Oh, JSON. Was that the reason that wasn't working? Not my weird other thing. So if I did response object that works. Okay, cool. Haha, I went on a tangent just because. That's so fun. Okay, so I get the author out. If I don't get it, I return this thing. I don't really like the fact that I'm having to handle this like this. Like having the status out here, but then again, I don't know. Maybe it would be better to do something like let status equals oh. Okay. Let's do this slightly differently. Let's remove the sum. Okay, so I get the author. I'm gonna let the status equals if author is some, then I want 200, else 404. Okay, so that's the status that we have no error. Oh, so I'm unwrapping here because the potential of an error. So that's, yeah, okay. So I'll handle that in a little bit. And then now we can return a response object. So status will just be that. Data will just be the author. And then the error will be but you have to be JSON around this. It's okay, JSON. Okay. And then I want to remove that unwrap, so we're going to match this. Okay, so if you're okay, you get the author and we return it. If you're an error, we get the error. We're going to first tracing error. And then we do an early return. Which means I can do response object. Status will be 500. Oh, but it's not the same thing. It's How is that allowed? Shouldn't this also be JSON? I'm surprised that wasn't yelling at me. Okay, response object, data. Okay, stats 500. Data would be a none. And error would be there as an error getting the author. Oh, which is then JSON again. Because I keep on forgetting that over and over and over again, no matter how many times I do this. That's like the hardest thing for me to remember. Apparently. You're also an option to become a sum. Contain string. Expected nothing. Oh, right. So back to you. I don't need you at all. You become a string. Okay. Probably should create some kind of like builder for this, but let's see if that makes you happy. Okay, so you failed. Missing field ID. Okay, so you failed because you're expecting an author to come back here. So what I really want is a response object with an author inside of it. Okay, so expected author is that. Then this is going to be that's what I'm going for. Tests are passing. So I'm successfully getting back the author with the books that the author has. Okay, great. Let's clean this up a little bit. So I can close you. This isn't a router, so I would love to maybe create some kind of builder for this. Okay, so let's do new like new okay. So new okay will be normal status, then all I need is the data, which is going to be that JSON. Associated type bounds are unstable. Really? Why is that stable over here? What are you? You're the trait serialize. You're the trait. What are you? You're the procedural macro serialize. So you kind of figure that out. Yeah, okay, so you know what that is. What do you think you are? Trait serialize, okay. Do I not put it here? Do I put it on the impl? Or do I do both? I can never remember if I do both. Missing generics for struct. Okay, so let's do this one at a time. Okay, so I want to do missing generics. So we have JSON like that, but I cannot find type JSON. Okay, so then I need generic for you. Consider restricting type parameter JSON. Where do I put that? Here? No, not there. So I put it here. That's where I put it. Okay, so I put I initialize, I reference, I create, I don't know what the right word for it is. I basically say, hey, compiler, there's going to be a generic, it's named JSON, and it has to implement serialize. I'm going to use it here. I guess like you're passing it in to the response object here. So yeah, it's that same one. Isn't that great? And hey, here's where we're taking it in, and here's where we're using it. So that's the fun thing there. Then I want another one. This is going to be a new error. Okay, so a new error. I don't want, I guess I need this new internal error. I need a message. Okay, so you're happy. So I should now be able to close you. Okay, when we're creating our error, so we can do if I buffer, okay, I have to do this now. So new internal error, put that in there. Okay, that does that, and then you are gonna have the same thing where it's, this one's a lot easier. Expected struct types author. Oh, because it's an option author. Ha, yeah. I know that you exist, so you have to be. Wait, I don't know that you exist. Ooh. Hold on. We'll fix this. Data will be an option with the JSON, and then you just become that data. Okay. Oh, right. Okay, hold on. No. New okay. Never mind. Never mind. We're going to undo what I just did. Okay. So we have new okay, and then we're gonna have a pub function new not found. Okay, not found. Which then is literally doesn't take anything at all. we do that. So then new okay not found. Wait, no. Then we have to decide which one we're going to do. So the response object is going to be either the okay found or the okay not found. So if you're something, so I kind of want to map it. Is that right? I don't want to map it. Okay or else. Oh, okay or else. Unwrap or else. Unwrap or else. This is the author dot unwrap or else. This is a function here. So we get the author inside of here. I want to do response object. This will be new okay with the author. Oh no, okay, hold on. Unwrap or else gives me the author. So this is the else, right? So this is new or okay or not found. And then I need to map before then to turn it into the other thing. I don't like this. Yeah. Maybe I should just do. Okay. More changes. I don't like that. I'm not doing it anymore. New okay. We're going back to the object. But the big difference between this one is status will now check to see what this is. So I want you to be if data is some then 200 else 4. And then I don't need you. What are you upset about? You're upset because I did that. Okay. Data. New okay. Some. Type thing. I want you to be like that. Okay, why are you upset? Expected type found variant sum. Oh, right, because you're an option. Option. Okay, so that makes you okay. Back to you again, and we fix this again. Okay, so we don't need that response anymore. Okay, so response object. This is okay. I mean new okay. We pass in the author, and now it'll automatically determine whether or not it's gonna be a 404 if that's like nothing. Okay, so refactored successfully, and our test still passed. So we're good to go there. Everything, no warnings. Okay. You're all happy there, so buffer close. Just close all these buffers. You were about to go on your rant about my usage of the word refactor. I was thinking about that and about how I was going to counter the rant by saying, but there's tests. So yes, we got it. For those of you who are very confused about that, we've had several discussions. It's mostly a philosophical coding discussion, but the question is, can we call something a refactor if we don't have tests? And the reason why it becomes philosophical is, how do you know if the behavior has changed if you don't have tests? You don't, right? So therefore it can't be refactored. It's always a rewrite because it's just YOLO. Who knows? Good luck. All right, so we what do we do? Okay, so we're testing that we can get one author with their books. Okay. I am not done right now, but we have an hour left. We have that old request. So Johan asked us to go pet Zilby. Zilby hasn't shown up yet. He was here like right at the beginning, and then he took off. So I'm going to go take a quick break, find Zilby, bring him back down here. We're going to pet him on stream, and then we'll start working on the next test. So I will be right back. All right, we are back. We have a kitty cat. No, it's okay. The chair's fine. I moved the chair. He's not purring loud enough to try the mic test. Are you done? Okay. Sylvie's done. He might show up a little bit. But we got some pets in. All right. Next test. Okay, he's really gone. What's up? We are on test authors. So we just got one author with their books. So next up, he was really upset because when I came up to get him to bring down for pets, he thought I was going upstairs to give him more food. And so he was super excited, ran right over to me, grabbed him, brought him down. He was purring until he realized that I'm actually not giving him food. Now he's... Sylvie, come on, over here. It's okay. I don't know if you can hear him. He meows pretty loudly sometimes when he feels that he's being mistreated, like, not getting food. All right, so we want to get all authors with their books. All right, so what does that mean? Our URL is going to be base URL authors, just to authors. We're going to do a get to that. Okay, so we do a get to that. No special things required. Oh. We await, and then we can question mark you. Okay, that makes you happy. There we go. And okay, so we expect you to be okay. Yashard, hello. How are you doing today? All right, so we're getting a 405. Interesting. It's a 405, not a 404. What's 405 again? Method not allowed. Oh, right. I forgot that Axum does this. I don't know if I... Oh, right. Okay, so I can go to authors with a post request, and that creates it. And so there's technically no route for authors on a get request, but it doesn't know that. So therefore, it's a 405. Shame on me for not HTTP catted out. Wait, what's HTTP cat? Also, I'm doing pretty good, Yashard. It's Thursday. It's almost the end of the week. That's always nice. Sylvie, I'm not torturing you by not giving you food. You got breakfast. Come on. Is there actually a command HTTP cat, or am I reading that too literally? Oh, I remember you shared that to me, right? The other day, yesterday? There's that HTTP cat URL. Was it HTTP cat? Right, it's this thing. I'm supposed to do this. HTTP cat 405. Hi, Zilby. You're looking for food? Will you accept pets in lieu of food? Kind of. He's over the years he's grown to play with his tail in different ways. He still attacks it sometimes when I'm holding him like this. But then he's learned that he doesn't want to bite it because that hurts. So instead he just licks it. Oh, that's the microphone. It's okay. It's okay. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you. He hit the whatever this thing is. Not the microphone itself, I don't think. All right. Heading version 2 done. Okay, so method not allowed is because we don't have a handler for that, so we're good to go. So that makes sense. Now, if we want to continue writing this along, then what we would expect. Okay, so after we get this, we want to grab out what this is going to be, which is going to be a vector of authors, right? So let authors equal to response this is okay, so this is going to be a response object with itself a vec of author. But then after that, I want to get into the data. and I want to unwrap it. So that should give me the vector of authors. There should be 3 of them. Oh, we could just create them all. I could just create them all separately right here. Manually, because there's not too many of them. Okay, so we'll start with ID 1. Author of ID 1 is unpublished and has no books. Okay, author of ID 2 is named one book. Oh, you won't autocomplete for me? What did I do wrong? What are you? Oh, you're a weird character. Okay. So we'll have book name. Wait, do I not have a book? Well, the book doesn't have an ID. I probably want IDs in there. Name is gonna knock that. So name is free book. Price is 0. In stock is true. And finally 3. Oh, absolutely. Yashard, please. Please do ask questions. I'm very happy to answer them. Ooh, this is going to be interesting because it's actually going to... This is gonna find all of the authors that we've been creating so far too. So I actually don't know what this was. Okay. Sorry, stacking. It's fine. I eventually remembered. HTTP cat was this. For some reason, my mind when you said HTTP cat, my mind went to cat the command. I'm like, is there a terminal command for catting HTTP method status codes? Not that there's like an actual HTTP.cat. So I'll do my best to remember this in the future, but I still might forget it. You're just an amateur learning JavaScript. What do you think is the best practice for the routes to be written async await or .then and .catch? Both are really useful. So there's slightly different patterns based upon if you're going to do one or the other. My recommendation is that if you start going down one method, try to be as consistent as possible. So don't mix and match .thens and async await. Like either like as much as possible async await or as much as possible .then with .catch. With async await, you pretty much can just program as normal. For the .catch, don't forget to throw everything inside of a try catch to catch those errors that are coming around. And with the .then to add the .catch to the end or in the middle somewhere. That's actually something you can do that's pretty fun that you can do with .then is you can put catches all throughout the line, and then you can continue on with .thens because the result of a .catch is another promise. So you can just keep on going. You can handle it and continue on. There is something called the river pattern, which let's see if I could find it really quickly. Oh, his website didn't load. Wait, did it load? It kind of loads. Oh, I'm gonna have to tell him that his website's not loading. Oh, okay. So there's this pitfalls and promise. This is only if you're doing promises. Let me see if I could find the specific part that he's talking about. So this is essentially what he calls the river pattern, where you do your initial call and then you do .then, and then you call another function from there. So you don't put necessarily the function inside of the .then. You don't define it there. You define it somewhere else, and then you just pass in a reference to the function here, and it just makes it sort of like just a little creek, a little river going down, which then you can have your .catch of the function there. This is Q. He hates Q. He doesn't like the .then here. Unfortunately, so Dan Levy's actually joined me on stream a few times. He's one of my mentors that I've worked with. I haven't really hung out with him in a long time. He's super busy person. So I'll send this out. Functional River is, I think, where he actually talks about it, but it's a doesn't load. Yeah, I think something must have happened where he took it away. Yeah, so let's see. I missed a bunch of stuff. Well, I guess first of all, Yashar, does that answer your question? I know I didn't give too much, but hopefully that helps. In the meantime, Beige, Beeg, hello. You avoid promise hell if you await multiple async calls. Yes, that is also true. You're currently trying yourself in Rust and using Axum and JamDB. I have not used JamDB. How is it? Is it based on like something like Postgres, or is it like its own thing completely? Languages give you the latest and greatest for a reason. Always use the new tools they give you. Yeah, I mean, so async await. When I first started using it, I didn't like it at all. I found that there's a lot of footguns in it, but I think a lot of them have been eased away by the language. Like when it first came out, it was a little bit iffy. Sort of like getting the first version of anything from like, buying anything is like, it's gonna be lots of bugs. But it's really solid now. The only thing, I think that there's now top level async await, right? Like that finally came out. That's like been the biggest issue, is using async await at the top level of like a Node.js document. The great thing about JavaScript is Babel, where you can use the newest and let Babel write it the old way for you. That's very true. And on top of that, if you're using any of the modern frameworks, you don't even have to write Babel configs. They're just using Babel for you behind the scenes. You've been around for a long time stacking. You can tell what happens to companies that refuse to adapt. They're no longer around to talk about it. There's perhaps like a tangential to that stacking, and I'm sure you're gonna agree with me on this one, which is, as a developer, if you're in a company that's refusing to sort of move along and adapt and using modern programming patterns, it's not just the company that's going to suffer from that. They're unintentionally hurting you as a developer, because what's going to happen is that you're going to sit still, whereas everyone else continues moving. And even if they're just floating idly by while everything progresses, you just are standing still. It's sort of like you put down an anchor, and when you come up for breath, as in you have to now find a new job, you're going to find that everything has moved on and you have no clue why anything's happening, how to do anything advanced, and that's really not a good place to find yourself. So be really, really careful if you're working for a company that's not using the latest and greatest. You almost don't have a choice. You have to do some kind of side projects in order to keep yourself up with that technology. Okay, so what was it called again? It was JamDB. JamDB. It's a file-based key value storage with buckets, tables. You often fail to grasp when to use a borrow or what the fuck is up with strings and Rust. Complicated but exciting to learn something new. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, with new stuff with Rust and learning for that, it becomes easier. It becomes more intuitive as you start doing stuff. You're like, oh yeah, I just need to borrow or anything else like that. I would say when you're first learning though, just clone away. Be like super clone happy. It's fine. Like you'll see a lot of people saying like, oh, don't clone. It's like really bad for performance or anything else. Don't worry about that. You're worrying about the language first. Get things compiling, get things working, clone everything, and then over time, you can start asking yourself, okay, do I have to have clone here? Trying not to, and then seeing how do I make this work now? And that's when you get to start getting into like, ooh, okay, I need a borrow in that case. Oh, I need a borrow with a lifetime. Do I still want to do that? I don't know. Let's go back to clone. So that's my suggestion. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do this I don't know what the expected authors really is gonna be here. So what I do want, I want to make sure that there's a minimum of 3 items in here. So let's double check that. So we'll assert length. Assert equal that authors dot lane. No, it can't be assert equal. This is gonna have to be just assert. So assert authors dot length is greater than or equal to 3. You'll give a wild card on my rant on keeping up with technology. Unless it's a C sharp shop. I've seen some of them on code bases 15 plus years old. Okay, that is very true. If you're specializing in old code bases and you're going to be that person that comes in and says, oh, you're still on Angular 1 and it's been like 5 years, 20 years from now, you're like, whatever. You probably really need somebody who knows C sharp, Angular 1, COBOL. You need somebody who knows that. And I'm one of the few people. So give me lots of money. That being said, there's always a joke. Like a lot of students, when they first start researching and seeing like what you can charge for your prices, they see things like, oh, COBOL developers make a ton of money. Oh, I want to be a COBOL developer. It's like, no. First of all, you don't. Second of all, you need to be really good in order to like get that. There's very few people that can teach you how to be a good COBOL developer. That's the problem. It's like there's an issue with education too. There's a reason why a lot of people don't want to learn those things and want to keep on growing, is because the old stuff sucks. Do I want to do a for each here? I might want to do a for each here. Do I want to do a for each or do I want to do a find? Oh, I want to do a find or a filter? Because I know from the data types it has to be that thing. I guess what I want to do is I want to test that we get those, at least those 3 seeded things. They need to be in the database. I don't care about the other ones. I just want to make sure that the 3 seeded things are in there. Which to me is a find, isn't it? Or a filter. I could also filter. So if you're less than or equal to 3 as the ID, you're good to go. I'll just continue shadowing this. Okay, so now we have the original seeded authors, and I don't care about all the other ones. We just make sure we have at least 3 of them which in this case, I probably don't need to check for that. I can also, is sort, okay, sort by, yeah, look at that. It doesn't return anything. So it mutable self. Okay, so mute authors. We're gonna sort you. Okay, so sort by. What is separate? It's been forever since I've used sort. You take in 2 items. Oh, so like A and B, like author A and author B. A and B. Oh, it's something like I want to do partial compare. So A dot ID partial compare B dot ID. Why? First of all, multiple issues. A value type centered author cannot be built from inner over. Oh, so you're gonna be a reference to author. Fine. Okay, so sorts the slice with the comparative function. The sort is stable, does not reorder equal elements. That's fine. So the example here is okay, flips that, sort by A and B for these things. A partial compare B. Oh, and then unwrap. I forgot the unwrap. Expected a reference. Okay. So I do start. So now I know that it's like 1, 2, 3 that I'm getting. Now I can create my expected authors, which I deleted before I realized that I could do this. So fun. Now we got to create those again. So ID is 1. Name is unpublished. Books is an empty vector. Okay. ID is 2. I believe this was 1 book. Book is going to be book. Name is free book. Price is 0. And in stock is true. Okay, so we have that. Three. Okay, so I think this is multiple books. 3 is multiple books. books. You have expensive book and unavailable book. So price for expensive book is 10,000. In stock, I believe, is false. And then it's unavailable book. Price was what, 1,400? False. Wait, this was in stock, true. Okay. So I think that's what I got here. So expected authors. And then we're going to assert equal that the authors, expected authors is the same. Okay, so that's a vec of a reference to author. Oh, okay, fine. Let's to owned that. No, clone it. I want to I own authors. Oh, I can just consume it here. I can just consume it here. So here we're gonna not borrow because I want to have ownership of it. So we're gonna do an iter and into iter. So that way I own it and you're all happy. And that is mostly being lazy, so I don't have to do a map later and like change other things to be, because I'm creating them right here. I own them here, so I need to own them here for comparison purposes. Okay, so that's good. We'll run our tests. You should fail. Fails for that same reason. We get that 405. We have some time. Let's keep on moving. So this is all authors. We want routes author. Let's get all authors. Don't need anything in the path. We are going to return a result JSON, the response object with a vec author. Well, that's fun. Otherwise, we're going to turn a JSON response object. Okay, so given that, All right, so first off, we need a query to get all the authors. So I guess we'll go to queries first. So you're going to be just a vector of author, I believe. But I need to combine them together. So I still need to do this type of thing. So So can I just do all? I guess I need to do find. That gets them all with find with related. Okay, so give me their books as well. Give me all of them with the DB. Wait and question mark you. Okay, that gives me that. Why do I have result option as a return type? For this one up here. So the idea is that if I'm getting an author by ID, so let's say I pass in, give me author with ID 1. We take a look at the database, we definitely have an author with ID 1. And so that's going to get me this author unpublished. So that would be, that's always going to work, right? But what if somebody says, hey, give me author with ID 100? I don't have one here. So it's going to successfully, so it's still an okay. So it's still, the result is okay. But it's going to be a none because there's nothing in there. That's the reason why I have a result and an option. The result is for errors getting to the database. The option is for whether or not I found the data in the database. Does that make sense? Oh, I may have to do something slightly different here. So this is a vec of each author as I'm going through with their books. I want an author like that, so I can probably map through each of these authors and then just I'm returning that directly. So essentially I can now return DB authors. We can do an into iterator because I own this. I want to map it, which gives me a DB author, which is DB author and a DB books. In another way, just think you're returning a type and an error. T and E? Yeah, that works too. Okay, so DB. Okay, so I'm returning this. We're mapping. Now I need to collect this into what it's supposed to be, which means I need to turn it okay before I forget. Now for you, we need to convert this into an author, don't we? So ID is going to be the DB author. Oh, but I already have this, right? Let mute author. It's going to be author from DB author. Okay, that gives me an author. You need to be referenced. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That gives me an author. I need to return this author at the very end, which is also fine. I need to now create the books. So we need author.books equals db books.into. Can I not do that? Didn't know you can use result with only one argument. Oh, I'm cheating. So this result isn't a normal result. If we go to the definition of this result is inside of air. So I'm using a special crate, an air crate for myself. And I'm using air here, which is a fork of anyhow. So it's really like you could use anyhow too if you want. That gives pretty airs if you want. I really like air, mostly because the author has done a lot of Twitch streaming in the past, has done a lot of conference talks about air handling and other things, and loves puns. So the author is named as Jane, and uses this as much as possible for as many puns as possible in her crates, which I love. I think Zilby is dreaming because his tail started twitching, and his eyes have that little white over him where his inner eyelid is closed, but his eyes are open, and he's doing his little ear twitchies. So yeah, this is what I'm using. So when you do this or anyhow, you can you use their result object. You return just inside of the error the okay variant. The error part is just a generic that implements error, like implements the display for error. Oh, I'm sorry, Zilby, did I wake you up? I didn't mean to. It makes things a lot simpler. And then I just question mark all the way up to the top and then handle the error at that point in time. So they're all one thing. I'm mostly doing it out of laziness. Why should I ever why should I write my own error stuff when I have good error libraries to sort of do it for me? Is sort of what I ended up dealing with. Why did I do that? I did not mean to quit. I meant to close the buffer and I forgot that's a different command. So I want to go into the queries. So I can't just do an into for this because .into doesn't call all of the .intos. So we want to do books. Now I own the books, right? I do. So we want to do an into iterator. We're going to map. We're going to map, and the function is, no, I don't want into iterator because I have to have a borrow for the other one. So we're just going to do iter. And going to map into. We're going to do that. Mismatch types. Expected, struct, vector, types, book, found, map, then collect. There we go. Now we have our books. We collect that, and it gets returned. So, perfect. Cowtail, hello. How are you doing today? Time to derail this conversation and ask if I have any books I'd recommend to anyone. The book topic could be anything. What books do I have right here that I would recommend? Of the ones that I have right here, I would choose this one. Crucial Conversations. Uh-oh. What was that? Oh, beige. Oh, I don't know. Interesting. Let me load that up in my safe window. Yeah, okay. I have my IP blocker on. So that's this one. Sorry about that. I have links turned off for most things. So Crucial Conversations is all about how to communicate with people and especially how to handle very hard and difficult conversations. It's been said by, I think, several different people that your success in life may be there may be a direct correlation between how many crucial conversations you're willing to have and how successful you are. I don't know if that's fully true, but I think that there might be something about that, because if you run away from really hard conversations, you're not going to get what you want. Usually things are locked behind somebody being upset about something, and being able to talk someone down, talk people through it, and still maintain a relationship afterwards is really important. So yeah, I recommend that. That's like one of those reread every once in a while books. This is the book that you're reading. Let's see. Beige. Looks interesting too. This looks like it's using Rustbook too, which is nice. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I got this here. So let's head into our router. So I want to get all the authors, and then I want to return that. So, and there's not really much else I want to do. So I might be able to get away with just a single match on this. So if I just do a match, get all authors from you. We throw in a reference to state.db. We await you. Then we're going to get an OK and all the authors. And I want to throw that into So then I want to return an OK JSON response object new OK authors. If you're an error, I want to return an error with JSON response object new internal error. Which is there was an error getting all authors. But I want to know what this error is too. Okay. That returns error. Okay, so what? You're happy with all this giant red. The name get authors is defined multiple times. Get all authors. Oh, yeah, get all authors here. So let's instead of get all. Okay, fine. Let's not do that here. Where's the get authors? Get authors. Okay, so I want to do author queries. And then I can do get authors there. So author queries. Okay, so I have that. You're kind of happy. Except for that. Now what? Expected one argument, found two. Wait, where? Missing match arm type future. Wait a second. Okay, so I want to match author queries, get all authors, open parentheses, and at the database, close parentheses. That's the function, right? Yeah, get all authors is the function. Return that, await, and then that should be the thing, right? It's very enjoyable seeing the slow but steady creep of Rust into becoming a better and better tool. Every year, another neat syntax sugar library and more software released using Rust has a base language. Yeah, I agree with that. It is super great to see just a language with steady march of progress. So, whoa, wait. Is this the error? Response object new OK. This one's slightly different color. Data. Oh wait, are you supposed to be some? Right, it's supposed to be some. Okay, well that removed the sub error. Now we have just this major error. Expected one argument, found two. I feel that I didn't do this correctly. So hold on, let's try this again. So we're going to match author queries. get all authors, a reference to state.db. We await you. Okay. I must have had some extra something in there because that failed. Okay, so now if I run this, you're upset. Okay, so router author, DB author queries, get author by D, insert. Oh, I've got a problem up here. Okay. Oh, that's still a 405. I need to run this. So we're gonna go to router mod. Get one author. All authors. Okay, so let's do this one here. Passing tests. Well, it's actually pretty fast for us. Okay. I'm past time right now, but let's go ahead and git commit this. So we're testing that we can get all authors. Okay. That's good. And then because I will think that I finished the entire project, I want to go this next test. I want to update an author. We want to remove this and just, how do I want to do this? I want to bail. I want to panic. I want a to do. So now that throws an error in the tests. That way, tomorrow when I come back here, we'll know that we're now going to be working on updating author. Okay, and that's all pushed up. That's all good to go. Then I think we're good. So as I was hinting at, we're gonna end it for today here. I have to go to my day job, unfortunately. So tomorrow I should be back around 6 a.m. Mountain Time. So same time as this morning. And we'll go until around the same time tomorrow too. So around 8:45 or so. And we're going to keep on working on this. So getting authors, doing all that stuff. It's a pretty big assessment. And it should last us for, I don't know, a few more streams probably. So with that, have a great rest of your Thursday. And I will see you next time. Bye.